No pukesters helping me to the left, and no pukesters helping me to the right. Didn't need them then, don't need them now.
You are the ex-champion, Mullen.
Now this is the way, Tony and David, that you do the figure 4 leg lock.
Coming at you live, not from Cousin Tyrone's basement.
And not from King Gunther's guest room, from the studio, Dre.
Yes, we are in the studio. Why? Because we got a special guest in the studio. We could have guests. We could do the Zoom or StreamYard. But nah, man, what's better than having our own homegrown professional wrestlers come to the studio, have beef with each other, and then
we saw it.
The guy that's sitting right here, man, he has
a
some
lot.
choice words for Dalton.
Yeah.
Choice words.
I thought, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Today we got Bonesaw Will in the building. So you shortened it? Because last time I heard you were Bonesaw William Cutter. So did we shorten it?
We got rid of Bonesaw altogether. That's why the tombstone.
Oh, so it's
tombstone on the shirt.
You gotta change your socials, bro.
Yeah. I've tried and it didn't take, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with that. But
So what is it now?
Martinez.
Martinez.
Just
Okay.
going by my last name now.
Oh, perfect.
Just Martinez.
Just Martinez.
Are you a Chicano or what?
Oh yeah, 100%. And nobody ever believes me, dog. Nobody.
Why?
What do they think you are?
Look at me. I got
Mexican
Italian.
as shit. Look at that mustache.
Well, the Italian just because the mustache.
Yeah, I get Italian. I get white, but never Mexican.
Well, the name's Martinez.
Yeah.
That's when they're like, wait, you're Mexican? And yeah. Like, but it's just on your dad's side, right? No, it's on both.
I get that.
Yeah.
So just Martinez is what
Just
you're going
Martinez.
for. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. From Ogden?
From Ogden, born, raised between Ogden and Fruit Heights and all that. And yeah, Utah homegrown.
That's dope. Yeah. I'm getting familiar with Ogden. I married an Ogden born and bred white girl.
That's what's up.
White. That's what we call it.
Girl. And so we go up to Ogden very frequently, and I'm learning a lot about. I love Ogden, 25th Street. Like
25th Street's
Ogden's
awesome.
cool, man. My wife's cousins live out there. They own a theater company.
what the
So it's
fuck?
dope.
Why haven't we doing shit with them? Man?
They're busy all the time. I don't even see them.
They don't like you.
They love me. Everyone loves me. What are you talking about?
Did you play sports growing up?
I did. I was really good at soccer growing up. I started when I was like 4 or 5, and then kind of just stuck with it until I wanted to play football at 14. Played 2 seasons of that. Said maybe not, because I wrestle like I'm a bigger guy, and I played football like I was a bigger guy. I idolized growing up Jerome Bettis. He was my
Boss,
guy,
baby.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And so like I was like, oh, I can run the ball like that. No, no, I cannot.
You go to Ben Lomond or Ogden?
I actually went to Davis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my grandparents lived in Fruit Heights, and my mom kind of wanted to keep me out of the Ogden schools because at the time, Ogden had a reputation of being a little ghetto. So she's like, I started out at my high school at Judge Memorial, and I got kicked out for fighting. So she's like, we're going to Davis. Grandma's going to take you to school every day, and just keep your head down and don't bother anybody, and nobody will bother you. And
How was that? Did you like Davis?
I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it so much.
Davis football's good though.
Oh yeah, Davis football is amazing, but Davis as a school,
Didn't love it.
nah.
You saw beefs out there?
Oh yeah, because like it's one of those things.
Hold on. Did you go to school with a guy named Zach Partridge?
That name sounds really
Piece
familiar.
of shit. No, I'm kidding.
This is my guy. He does the fight promotion out here. Sorry.
Oh, nice. Oh no, you're good. Like it's one of those things in Utah, and I feel like it's exclusively to Utah, where if you're not part of the church, you sit on the outside. Looking in on everything. Like there were people that like we were cool in class, but it was like, hey, do you want to go play basketball after school? It was like, oh no, I can't hang out with you outside of school. Why?
Oh, so Davis was pretty heavy. And,
Oh yeah.
okay.
There were girls that I couldn't date. Like I'd start talking to them, whatever, and we'd go out to Lagoon. We'd go hang out at Lagoon, and after that, it was like, you can't hang out with him anymore. He's not part of the church. Like why?
Yeah.
Like I'm still a good dude, just because I'm not LDS or whatever, but.
Were you a good dude though? Were you a trouble kid?
See,
I mean, you got
So here's
kicked
the
out of
thing,
a
Doc.
school. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Let's
two
take a
sides.
step. Let's
So
take
here-
a couple steps back.
so when I got
He's like,
kicked
I
out,
did 3 years of juvie.
never. My dad, if I ever did time in juvie, my dad would have sent one of my cousins in there to kick my ass. I shit you not.
Yeah.
We can swear on this podcast.
Of
right?
course.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
thank God.
Oh, and by the way, Mexican as fuck. He went to a Catholic school.
And got kicked out of that pig.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Like it's not good. Like when I got kicked out, what happened was I remember it clear as day because I didn't fight. Like it was not my thing, and later on it kind of became like, okay, I have to protect myself and others. And so what happened was this dude, this senior, was picking on one of my buddies, and I went up to him and I was like, hey, just leave him alone. And I was a freshman and he was a senior. So he was already substantially bigger than me. I'm not the biggest guy to start out with. And he puffed out his chest and was like, you don't scare me, King Kong. And he's like, all right, meet in the bathrooms after school. I said, all right, bet. So I go in the bathrooms and he's got like 5 of his homies there. And I went by myself like a dumbass. And he lit me up like a goddamn Christmas tree.
Just him or did they
Just
jump
him.
Oh, shit.
5 shots straight to the face. Busted my tooth, like this tooth. The short, fat one is mostly porcelain.
Damn.
And just left me there, covered in blood, and got up, washed my face, went out to my mom's car,
And you got kicked out?
and I got kicked out. See, that's another thing, too, is like,
Mexicans don't quit. Yo.
yeah,
I'm like, how does you got your ass whooped, and how do you get kicked out?
Yeah,
because I
facts.
wasn't like my mom, God bless her, raised me pretty much on her own with help from my grandparents here and there. But my dad wasn't really in my life. But I was going to schools like that because I had assistance from the Catholic Church.
Got it.
I had to maintain like a C average,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
had to do like X amount of hours of community service
Okay.
and all that. So
Okay.
there was a caveat to me going to private school.
And they don't want you in there fighting.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Yeah.
So did you during this time? Were you a fan of pro wrestling? Like,
Oh,
where did the love come
100%.
from?
100%. The love of pro wrestling came from my grandma.
Oh wow.
She used to watch Lucha on Telemundo. And so one day I remember she sat me down and she had one of the Coliseum VHSs with the pink stripe. And the first match she put on was Undertaker versus fake Undertaker. And I remembered losing my mind because I was like, there's 2 of them on screen. Oh my God, what's going on? And like, you go back and watch it now, they don't look anything alike.
No, yeah.
But like to a little kid, it's that magic. Like, oh my God, there's 2 guys in that same ring and they both look alike and they're the same size and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But she's the one who got me into it. And so from then on, like we would watch Monday Night Raw together. We were a WWF household. This is in the 90s. So there was the Monday Night Wars.
Yep.
And we'd watch WWF and together. And she'd always get excited when The Rock came on. Always, that's my boyfriend. There goes my boyfriend.
Chiquita, yeah, I love it. Yeah, woman from my own heart. 'Cause I'm the same way about the Rock.
Yeah. That's my
my
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Every time
Yep.
he comes on the
Nah,
screen.
it's my husband. All right.
So was it so Taker was the one that you first remember seeing, but who were some of your favorites at that age?
It was still The Undertaker. I fell in love with the dark aspect of it, and the character was. I loved the supernatural things about the character. But him, Razor Ramon, or Scott Hall when I did watch him, and Shawn Michaels.
Okay, so you're in there 94-ish, 95-ish, right before Attitude Era times. Yep.
Yep.
Good time. So, grandma put you on. You fall in love with it. At what point do you find out about pro wrestling in Utah?
I didn't find out there was pro wrestling in Utah till I was 20 years old. And it was at Fanex. I went with a group of friends. I had won tickets. I think it was from U92 or X96. It was one of those 2 stations.
No, U92 is good.
U92 is great.
The other one is.
The other one, the new one. Yeah. Okay.
Fair. But,
They just did me dirty.
Yeah, we'll tell you after.
you know, my friend used to work there and I think they did her dirty. She posted like they did her dirty, but yeah, I won tickets and I was just walking around looking at old booths and there was a company called UCW and they had this little booth and they're like, oh yeah, put your name in here and we're giving away 2 free tickets to the show, and I won. And so I went to that show and I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to start training for that. And I started training. I got maybe 3 months in and I broke my ankle, and I ended up with 2 hernias, and I was like, I got to lose weight. I got to get into shape for this because this is taxing, man. And at the time, I was like, I'm only 5'6". I'll be sure. I'm not that tall. But I was 220 pounds on a 5'6" frame.
Wow.
I was pre-diabetic. I was all bad. And I was like, if I want to do this, I got to take it seriously. And I started losing weight, and I kept in touch with Manny, kept following him on his socials. And when he said after his first show, the Festivus fights that happened at the Art Factory, I was there, and he didn't recognize me. And I went in and watched the show, and I was like, I can do this better than a lot of those guys that were there. And I signed up the next day. After that, I messaged him. I was like, hey, I want to come train. He said, okay, bet. Show up here. And I did, and I've been with him ever since. I'm technically his first student.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's awesome.
At the time when I first found maybe not when I first found DCW, but along the same time frame, didn't you hold like more of an executive type role with DCW?
yeah, so at the time, probably around that time, I was injured. I had herniated a disc in my neck, and it was compressing my spinal cord. So I had...
Been there, brother.
Yeah, it sucks.
All about that.
It sucks, man. Like, can't see the scar anymore, but I got a metal disc in my C4, C5.
Sheesh.
And I still wanted to be around because it was literally the only thing that I do. Like, I go to work, I go to the gym, and I go to wrestling. If I'm not in one of those 3 places, it better be pretty damn special. Because I don't miss matches for shit. So that's probably when I was injured. 8 months, I think. So. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but your first gimmick, you were suit and tie at the time, but was it more of a, not to go back to what we were thought about originally, wasn't it more of like an Italian gimmick?
Yep. And I have Vince Russo to thank for that 100%. So he came and did a seminar, and he was talking. He eventually got to, I want to hear you guys cut a promo. And I was told to dress up. So I came and a dress up shirt, tie, vest, slacks, nice shoes. And I went up there and I started cutting this promo, and he said, you know who you kind of remind me of, bro?
I was going to wait for the bro. Yeah.
You ever see Goodfellas, bro? You remind me of Joe Pesci in Goodfellas.
Low key.
That's great. That is good. Yeah.
And so he's like, I want to do this with you. I want to make you a mobster. And so that's where that gimmick came from. Because before that, I was teamed with Josh Glade. And we were a tag team called Group Therapy. And I was crazy, and I didn't talk. And he said, you got to give this kid a mic, bro. So that's what they did.
The bro is so perfect. I was like, I hope he says it.
Oh yeah.
What's getting into the business? What's some of the hardest things, or some of the things that you didn't necessarily think would be an obstacle trying to get in and have matches and train?
That's a good question, because I mean, you never know what to expect, because everyone's like, oh, it's staged. Like, it doesn't hurt that bad. The pain is a big one. The pain, like fighting through that pain every day, and just being able to be like, this is something I want to do. Like, when you're in the ring, you don't feel a thing. I wrestled on Saturday against Manny with a messed up ankle, and I didn't feel my ankle at all. At all.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. But I mean, the tax it takes on your social life as well is something that a lot of people don't understand. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's either wrestling, work, or the gym. And I've missed birthdays doing that. I've missed weddings. Like the day my grandpa passed away, I went from the U of U hospital straight to the training center because we had training that day. And I didn't go with my family until after training was done. And that's when it's that stuff that no one considers.
When did you get into it? Like, when did you start training? Around what year?
So I'm going on 7 years. Okay. So it would have been, what, 2000?
Like 18.
Yeah, 18, 19.
How long did you train? I thought this was interesting with Dalton, but for you, how long did you train before you had your first match?
About 2.5 months.
Okay.
That's quick.
Yeah.
I picked up on it really quick. I picked up on the bumping anyways really quick. So
I think a lot of us, I mean, you talk about being a fan since you were young, right? I think a lot of us watch the documentaries. We watch the Beyond the Mats. We watch a lot of these things, and we tough enough, and they show us how to take a bump. You know, you slap the mat and whatnot, keep your head. And so I feel like a lot of times when you have the passion like you had, I feel like it would come a little bit more natural because you've been studying your whole life.
Mm-hmm. And like with YouTube now, YouTube's one of the greatest tools that you could have, especially if you want, because you can see them go through it and you can practice that motion wherever you want. Like when I was coming up, I was working at a call center. The cubicles were perfect height, like the top ropes were. So I would practice grabbing and throwing myself into them.
And the person next to him, yes, sir, hold on one moment.
Yeah. God damn it, stop. Knock it off. Yeah, I got a lot of that. Sit your ass down. But if you're working call center, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, you got to get through
sane.
that. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I'd do that and like I'd go home and I'd watch YouTube videos like, oh, tuck your chin, slap out, tuck your chin, slap out. And so when I actually got in the ring, the only thing I wasn't ready for was how much it actually sucked. Like it hurt, man.
Yeah.
Well, my son did the youth camp, and when I'm sitting there watching you guys teach him, I didn't realize how much it was gonna hurt him because it was like, Dad, like, just even trusting yourself to fall backwards and take that back bump. Like when we're driving home, he's like, Dad, you don't realize like it was scary. Yeah. To just trust falling backwards. Not to go on the ropes, not to do anything else, but just fall backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's tough, man.
Even now, I wrestle with my son, and I'm like, I don't want to fall on the couch backwards. I got work tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. If I do that, I ain't going to be working tomorrow.
You get into these, you start having your matches. When do you start to feel comfortable? Like, you know, and no matter what you're doing, us DJing, there comes a point where it's like, yes, I can do this and I can do this in my sleep. When do you start to feel comfortable doing that? Or is it different because truthfully you could get injured at any moment?
I mean, I'm a firm believer in this because like I talk to other guys in the locker room. I talk to other guys when I travel. I'm a firm believer that at one point you'll have a match and everything will just click just like that. And you could be struggling with something and you could be, you know, not understanding something. And then you'll do this one match, this singular match after all the practice and time you put in. It took this one thing to be like, oh, light bulb. This is why it works this way. This is how it does this. And then you build your confidence from there. I don't believe it's like, obviously you got to keep training, but it's a singular, for me at least, it was a singular moment where everything came together. It was like, okay.
Was it a specific match that you remember, or what happened?
It was a specific match. It was actually the match that I realized I was injured because I got through that entire match not being able to feel below my neck.
Oh my God, dude.
And I took a high bump and I was like, okay, that sucked. Something's wrong. But this is all making sense. Like we went slow. We were telling the story. We were getting over what we wanted to get over. And it was just like all at once. And it was probably at the time one of my better matches. So.
Yeah, that's intense. About a year ago, you were the Utah Valley Television Champion.
Yeah.
When you won that belt, what was that feeling like?
Oh man, it was a good feeling. It was because you have your heavyweight title, which means this is our guy, right? This is the one that we trust. And in my eyes, the Utah State title was the workhorse title. It was, you take this because we trust you to do this. We know that you're going to show up. We know that, that you can do this consistently for a long time. So it meant a lot to me to win that title.
How long did you carry that title for?
The second reign, I carried it for 4 months. The first reign, I carried for 5 months, and then I had to, because I was champ, and then I had to hang it up and be like, gotta go get surgery, guys.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to bounce back from that surgery?
8 months.
Damn.
8 months of sitting there, because I still went to training every day. And I would sit up in the rafters. They eventually called it the Penguin's Nest. ha, ha, ha. But I would sit up in the rafters and I would just watch them. And I would pick up on like, oh, this is how this is. It's sometimes it's easier to take a step back and look at it versus actually doing it.
Yeah.
And I started like, okay, this is where blah, 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 blah. But 8 months of that. Does you right.
So I had decompression surgery, L1 through 5. They took out the pointy part of your spine, right? So they did it all in one shot. And I was down for about the same amount of time. Had to learn how to walk again. I fell into a depression. It was really tough for me. How did you battle any type of mental illness that you might have had?
Not well. I mean, there were times where I would be driving home and I would just have to pull over because I was just, I'll be honest, I cried.
Yeah.
I cried almost every time I drove home because it's like, I want to do that. I want to be in the ring and I can't. I didn't have to relearn how to walk by any means, but it was just that feeling of being excluded from the thing that I loved most.
And at the time, did you already have the title at that point?
I had relinquished the title
right.
because of the injury. I went to a doctor and I went to 2 doctors. The first one said, oh, we'll give you some injections. You'll be fine. The second one asked me the weirdest questions I've ever been asked by a doctor. He's like, can you get up? Yeah. Can you walk towards me? And I walk towards him and he throws me a water bottle. He's like, can you crunch that? And I couldn't even squeeze it.
Wow.
And he's like, I have no idea how you're walking. I have no idea how you're moving. My spinal cord on the MRI went, like you could see it. It's all white. And then when he gets to the C4, C5, completely gone.
Closed.
And then opens up again. And he's like, I don't understand.
Did you get, so it was like a backdrop? Like, do you remember the moment it happened? But like, what was it? What was the move that,
The move that initially injured me, I used to do a running headbutt.
Oh, shit.
So I would basically get in one corner, wait for him to get up, run, throw my head at him, and I'd put my hands up here to protect myself. And, wrestlers have egos.
Yeah.
And I got told by Al Snow, I got told by QT Marshall, I got told by Doc Gallows, like, you're going to hurt yourself. Because if somebody doesn't bump when they're supposed to, like on contact, you're going to jack yourself up. And that's exactly what happened. I hit him and he didn't go down. I felt it as soon as I hit. Couldn't control my body. And it was just all bad. All bad.
Damn. So coming out of that, once you're able to get back into the ring, were you apprehensive to do the stuff you had done before? Not necessarily the headbutt, but just like be in the ring and take those bumps?
No.
Okay.
I was ready to go back in it. I wanted to take the bumps and I wanted to hit the ropes. And the only thing that I was worried about, I used to do a little bit more acrobatic stuff, like the luchas onto the ropes and just jump off. And I was like, no, no more. I have no need for it. So
That's what the pirate be doing.
yeah,
I like that pirate. I was telling you about this guy.
Yeah.
I like watching that guy get down.
you should come to the show on January 12th and see what happens to that pretty boy douchebag.
Is that who you're matching up with?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, the Great American Day, July 12th at the Light Tree Studio, 740 West, 1700 South. Doors open at 6:30. Bell is at 7:30. Eventbrite.com is how you can get tickets. Now, you're going to be taking on the Pirate.
Might be taking him on directly, might be just watching him fall flat.
That's not going to happen. He's going to whoop that ass.
Wow, you're big on the Pirate, huh?
Watch him.
Okay.
Nothing against Martinez over here, but there's a reason why he changed his name, right?
Yeah,
My hope is that he comes in the crowd and smacks you up.
Please
I'll be
don't.
there for you. Yeah, get his ass. He was talking shit.
Yeah, 1 through 5, man. I can't move, bro.
He just hit up here.
I can't take a belt. I can't take a bump. Did you celebrate your first Father's Day? Is that
I
what
did.
I seen on your
did.
social. I was creeping on the social media.
man,
Your first
that's
time
awesome.
father.
That's great. Boy, girl.
Little boy.
So how old is your kid?
He will be 6 months on the 4th.
Wow. New
Just a
Year's
little guy.
baby?
What?
New Year's baby?
Pretty close.
Pretty
He was
close, huh?
born on January 4th.
Damn.
Yeah. Just in time that we couldn't count him on the taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Shit.
Hey, you might not. Well, I guess you'll get a little something. Trumpito kind of.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out.
We'll see if we even
It's a
get
lot
that.
of shit.
Fingers crossed, man.
So new father, man. How was that finding out that you're gonna be a daddy?
I cried. I'm a very emotional guy, so like when I found out, I remember asking my wife, like, what's going on? Like, was it positive? Was it positive? And she came home with a card, and she had a little rhyme on it and gave me the test. She caught me on video, and I was,
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
I'm gonna be a dad.
Yeah.
Nothing like it. That's one thing we can relate. We're both fathers, and
It's the best feeling.
oh man, there's nothing like being a dad, and it makes me wonder because you talk about missing birthdays, you talk about your grandfather's passing and whatnot. How does becoming a father change your trajectory as a professional wrestler?
It makes things more difficult. So my wife is also a professional wrestler, right?
Okay.
And she's at training with him right now. We used to go to the gym every day together. We went to training every day together, and we were both being able to get in the ring. Now it's like she goes in the ring, I watch baby, and then we switch out. And then when comes to the gym, my mom, bless her soul, once again, she's an amazing grandma, and she takes baby on Monday so we could go to the gym together. And then Tuesdays she goes, Wednesdays and we kind of switch it up. So that way we can keep going because we both want this to work. And if it doesn't work for me, like if my son wants to do this, at least I've carved a little bit of a path for him that like, oh, like I don't need to go through the struggles of like trying to get booked somewhere because my dad already had the hookup.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. You said your wife is a wrestler as well. Did you guys meet wrestling, or was this something where she just fell in love after you started wrestling?
we met wrestling.
Nice.
We met at Fanex. Again, Fanex.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a spot. Yeah.
Yeah, we had the ring set up there, and she was cosplaying as Aubrey Edwards.
Okay.
And one of the guys saw her and was like, oh, you got to get in the ring. You got to get in the ring. And so we had her run a couple of matches like as a ref and go through pinfalls and all that. And she fell in love, showed up to training that next week.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then we started traveling together, and one thing led to
you
another.
Wanna, you want to move up in this business?
Yeah.
I've been around.
Dating the trainee, I see you.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't a coach at the time, I promise. I wasn't a coach.
Okay.
That's usually how it works, though, right? You see all these couples in the business. It seems like they meet on the road and they're together all the time.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just a
Yeah,
natural
it just makes sense.
progression.
Yeah.
So is she currently taking matches too?
Yep. She's coming with us to Arizona on Saturday. She's had a match last Saturday at Harley Davidson.
6 months after. That's awesome.
6 months after a C-section, too.
Oh,
Sheesh.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. She's tough. That's why I'm a good Cholo house husband. You know what I mean?
Abuela got a baby this weekend
Yeah.
while you guys travel?
Yep.
Nice.
What's your son's name?
Kelsier.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a cool name.
Yeah,
That sounds like a ring name right there.
Yeah.
Right?
That's dope.
Yeah, she got it from one of her favorite fantasy series. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
you get this one, I get the next one.
Neurotic novel.
God, I hope not.
Okay, so you got the match coming up July 12th, Light Tree Studios. Again, eventbrite.com. You can get those. One thing that I noticed is that you did have an intergender match.
Oh.
An intergender. You wrestled a woman.
Yeah.
Was that your wife?
Recently?
I don't know. I seen it on top of your IG.
Probably. Yeah, if it was at the top of my IG, then it was probably her.
How is that? How is wrestling somebody of the opposite sex? Because we don't really see it too often on the mainstream level.
For sure, not now. Yeah. We used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Penta and Chelsea Green's a great example
That's
of that.
yeah, you're right.
China and everybody.
China versus everybody. Put that on a shirt, WWE. But it's hard because there's some things coming up training. I was always told like you can't hit a woman on TV with a closed fist. And my wrestling style, that kind of sucks because all I do is strikes, man. I throw a couple moves in, but I've got like 3 moves that I do consistently, and everything else is punching him in the face. And it's finding that workaround for it. Makes you think outside of the box. So it's a fun challenging, and it's also an awkward challenging. Because no matter what, you are the bad guy in that situation.
Oh yeah.
100%. So it's rough. Intergender matches are rough. I've had a couple of them, but it's working with her's easier because we do have time like outside of the ring to kind of like, oh, this is something I want to work on. This is something I want to work on.
You guys wrestled to make a baby. So
Yeah.
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 You're comfortable with each other.
Jesus Christ. I wasn't gonna go there.
Yeah. I was just gonna say it. So yeah. Okay.
I'm glad you went there.
Yeah.
Save me.
That's
I'm
usually
face,
your
he's heel.
spot. No, that's usually your spot. Yeah.
You've been heel your whole career, huh?
For the most part, yeah. I was only face for about 4 months, and it was right after I came back.
You like working heel a lot more.
Oh, yes. It's so much easier. I have a very punchable face. I got told that I have one of the meanest resting dick faces that somebody's ever seen, and it was Eric Bischoff. We were doing a seminar, and I was just sitting there taking notes, and I kept on.
Well, when you walked in, I thought you were me mugging me up.
See? No,
Or I thought you didn't like Dalton. I'm like, uh-oh.
that's just my face, man. I promise. I'm nice. Sometimes. But yeah, he said I had one of the meanest resting dick faces he'd ever seen. And he's like, I'm glad you asked me a question because I thought you were going to come up here and punch me in the face.
That's hilarious. But how the hell did you let Carmelone's son pin you? Man, you should have fucked him up. Him and his daddy.
I wanted to. I really wanted to.
Tell us that story. How did that happen?
Was that FanX?
No, that was at the, what do they call it? It was like Sports Con or
FitCon.
FitCon. No, it wasn't FitCon. It was another company put it on.
SportsX,
Yeah, something like that. But he was there, and he went and talked to him, and he's like, all right, you and me are working. I said, all right, cool. I'm assuming, because send them home happy, you're going over. And he hit me with his finish, and then all of a sudden, there's Karl Malone's kid pinning me. 1, 2, 3. I was like, what just happened? Who is he? Oh, okay, cool. Love that.
Jeez. It pissed me off. Nothing against Carmelone's son, but don't fuck with your daddy.
When you're preparing for matches, especially when you go out of town, when you guys are traveling, what is that like talking out that match with your opponent backstage? Because I would assume a lot of times you're meeting these people for the first time. Mm-hmm. So what is that process like?
It depends person to person. There's 2 different styles of wrestling, right? You have the Macho Man way, which is we have to plan out every little detail. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm working, those people, they'll message me on Instagram or on Facebook Messenger like,
wow.
Oh, what do you like to hit? What's your comeback? What's your heat? What's this? What's that? And then there's guys that are just like, this is my shine. This is my finish. Awesome. We'll call the rest out there.
Nice.
Excuse me. And I much prefer let's call it out there.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a good memory, man. I've been doing this for 6 years, and I used my head a lot. So there's some memories gone.
That headbutt fucked you up.
Oh, bro. And here's the stupid thing, because I'm not the brightest crayon in the knife drawer. After I got hurt, when I turned heel again, I started doing the flying headbutt, because why not?
No.
I'm like, don't do it. Kids that are watching this, if you want to be a professional wrestler, never,
No flying
ever.
headbutts.
No.
Yeah.
No, it messed me up so much worse. Like, not physically, but mentally, because that's an instant concussion every time. And depending on how high up you're going, it's a little worse.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Could have gave Carmelone's son a flying headbutt.
Yeah, you probably could have. That would have went viral.
Just giving Carmelone's son heat for nothing.
Poor guy's just catching it from everywhere.
Okay, so I was looking on the internet. I had to write this question down. 2 indie wrestlers recently was on Power Slap. You guys see this?
Oh, yeah.
So Hollywood Haley J, you know her from the wrestling show on Netflix, right. OVW.
Yep.
And also Juicy.
Oh.
Juicy. AAA, MLW, GCW.
He was on a slap?
Oh, yeah.
For now. So they both did Power Slap over the
way.
weekend.
No way in hell. If I walk up and that's my opponent, I'm
Oh.
walking right out the door.
Amen.
Now here's the scary thing. He lost.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What did the other guy look like?
Big ass Hawaiian.
Oh, no.
But is that something that you would want to do?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, I'll do wrestling all day, and because I can wake up in the morning and I don't have a headache 90% of the time. You know what I mean? But that Power Slap stuff, they're just asking for brain damage, man. Just to stand there and take it. Yeah, not for me.
I see some of them get knocked out and then they hit the table and then they hit the ground. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy smokes.
So
do
if
that.
Juicy lost, I gotta watch it because that other person must have been a monster of a human being.
Juicy didn't get knocked out. It went to the decision, but the other guy, I don't know how they call it. I don't know.
How do you call a slap?
I have no idea. Both of them connected, so there was no missed slaps. But Hollywood Haley J, she knocked the girl out.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, she knocked her out good.
Damn.
And if you watch the documentary on OVW, you know that this chick is like, that's not a gimmick. Like, she really slaps bitches.
That's her.
She really be slapping them.
Yeah. My dad lived in a trailer park for a while when I was growing up, and there was plenty of girls like her out there.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it, man. I actually met her when I went out to Kentucky. She's a total sweetheart.
Is she?
Yeah. But when she's in that ring, man, and she's in character,
Yeah, she's great.
shut up and step to the side and let her do her thing, man.
What are some of your favorite places to travel to and wrestle?
Colorado. Colorado will always be my home away from home. I've got a lot of friends out there, like people that I came up with moved out there. And so Colorado is definitely number one for me.
I've never been to Colorado.
No,
Really?
I've been there a few times.
The
Handful of
drive
times.
sucks. Drive sucks. Fly.
I don't drive anywhere anymore. Not even Vegas. If I got to drive to Vegas, I'm not going.
You don't want a road trip?
Hell no. I did enough in my 20s. No.
You're going back to Vegas. Wasn't it announced that WrestleMania, you guys are back?
Yep.
DCW. So what's going on for the WrestleMania weekend?
I have no idea, man. I wish I do. I know we're doing a show the Thursday before because last time we did it on, I think it was Friday before Mania, and it was just a shit show. Like FSW, God bless them, their arena was great. The crowd that was there, they were great. But like, you're competing with Wrestle fucking Mania, man.
You have SmackDown that night. You have all the after parties.
Yep,
Yeah,
the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
all that crap. And you want to compete with that? Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
No way. So I know we're doing it the Thursday before Mania, FSW Arena again. Don't know if it's going to be on, what's that? It used to be Fight.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Fight TV, but I don't remember what it's
Not Triller.
Is it Triller?
I don't know.
called. Oh, yeah. No,
might
it
be
is
Triller.
Triller. Yeah.
So Triller, I don't know if we're going to be streaming it on Triller like we did the last one, but I know that I'm going to Vegas for Mania weekend. And it's going to be,
Nice.
It was dope. Did you guys go? Did you guys get to see?
No,
Hell
I
no.
watched it from home. I went to LA for Mania, and that was a lot. But it was dope.
Oh,
It was great, but it was a lot because it was in Inglewood, and
Oh.
that place has 85,000 people, and you're trying to drive out of one-way areas, and it's like, oh, I'll be home. I'll be back to my hotel tomorrow.
They would have to do it at Lo-Fi next, right? Like that.
SoFi.
SoFi, right? That would probably, if they do it in California.
That's
again.
where it was.
Oh, was it?
SoFi's in Inglewood. It's in
It
the
looks so
middle of
different.
Inglewood. Like it's like putting the Delta Center in Magna. Is the way I tell people.
Yeah, no.
Like try to drive to the Delta Center in the middle of downtown Magna.
no, thank
Hell
you.
no. Mm-mm.
So our friend Manny Lemons has been doing DCW for what? Is it 11 years now?
He's been wrestling for, no. DCW's only been going for 6 or 7.
Six or 7
Six
years.
going on to 7, yeah.
Do you? And obviously, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like DCW is the biggest pro wrestling thing we have in Utah.
Hands down.
Do you think Manny gets the respect he deserves?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Absolutely not. Because, like I said earlier, man, wrestlers got egos. And everybody wants to step up to Manny like, oh, we're going to outdraw you. You're not. Our worst, I'm sorry. There's a couple companies out there. I love some of your roster, but just don't book shows on the day that we have shows. You're not going to compete with us. On our worst day, we outdraw. And the reason is because we stay consistently training. We work our asses off day in and day out, and our crew is a legit family. I wouldn't trade anyone on our roster for anybody on the Indies because I work with them closely. I train them. They train with us, and they're willing to make those sacrifices. You know what I mean? And so, like, you have these other promotions that are like, oh, we're going to run a show the same day you guys do, and they draw 25 people. We'll run a show that's not our main show, and we'll draw 70 or 80. Like this last Harley Davidson show, not a main show. There was another show going on in Ogden, and we outdrew them by probably double. So
That's funny. 'cause
At a
I
Harley
can't-
Davidson too.
Exactly. I can't even name another promotion though.
I know of one, but I won't name them.
I
Is it the
appreciate
Luchador one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't even know if they're still around anymore.
That's the one. That's the only one. I mean, because you brought them here.
Yeah.
Because you were an op.
No.
This
This is early. This is when I start. This is before you weren't even wanting to start a wrestling podcast,
DCW
sir.
for life over here.
Okay.
He had some other champion come up in here.
The Lucha one, I'll let pass because we work with the Lucha
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Your little pirate douchebag works a lot with them,
Yeah, pirate.
but it's yeah, that little pirate douchebag works a lot with them, and we have a working relationship with them.
Yeah.
But everyone else is like, oh well.
Okay, in that instance, then I don't know anyone, and that's my bad for you.
But Manny is the most underrated promoter I say on the West Coast. Because he's like, you see him at AEW, you see him on WWE programming as an extra. It doesn't matter that it's an extra; he still has those connections, right? And not a lot of indie guys can say that. Not a lot of indie guys can say that. Oh, I traveled with Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Good Brothers, in TNA,
Right.
Or I got to know this person, and I got to meet people backstage and be backstage and work for ROH back before Tony Khan bought it at Death Before Dishonor, and I was like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. Mark J. Briscoe acknowledged me because I was chewing Red Man. Like, what the? I would never thought that in my life.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, he deserves so much respect and so much love, and he doesn't get it, and I don't understand why. I'll never understand why.
I feel like he gets it from the DCW crowd. The audience appreciates him, and I tell him all the time, like, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have a lot of what we got, you know. And he puts a lot of eyes on professional wrestling in Utah, and I just hope the athletes can acknowledge that as well.
I wish they did. I know our roster does, and don't get me wrong, he's just like a regular boss. Sometimes you just want to punch him right in his big fucking lemon head. But overall, you know, he's done what's best for me. He's done what's best for Utah wrestling, and you got to respect that.
That's what they always say, right? You gotta do what's best for business. That's the same.
No doubt. You do a lot of training with DCW, right? Like you're training incoming talent. What would you say? I mean, you had already spoken to, you know, you're going to miss a lot. It's a big sacrifice. But what's one thing, say, 19, 20-year-old kid coming in, what's one thing they should be expecting when they come into training? What are things that you're looking for in talent?
Drive. That's it. If you got a passion for it and you love it, we see people come and go, right? We'll have people come in for one training. Oh, well, this is my childhood dream, and I've wanted to do this forever, and da-da-da-da. And we say, all right. And they hit the ropes once, and this isn't for me. Gone. And so, like, as long as if you truly love this, and you want to do this, like, as a weekend hobby, then do it as a weekend hobby. By all means. But don't set that expectation like you're trying to make it. You know what I mean? And if you push yourself and you're willing to do the work and push yourself, I guarantee you it'll pay off. But don't come in thinking that it's going to be easy. Never come in thinking it's going to be easy.
What's the biggest misconception about pro wrestling?
Other than it's fake.
No, we still have that. Do people still believe that?
I think people that watch Zero Wrestling and are older, right, like our age or maybe older, would say that. But they've just never watched it. They never really, they may have saw something in the Attitude Era at some point, you know, but just never came back to it. I think those people still say that, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you see the injuries all the time. You see people get hurt. You see all kinds of crazy shit. And even now when it's not these hardcore matches of, you know, Mick Foley getting thrown off the Hell in a Cell, but it's just constantly, I mean, you're an athlete that is a actor at the same time.
You look at what Montez Ford does. I mean, way he Superman's over the top turnbuckle.
That
like
scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'm like, you can't fake that.
No.
You're talking about 15, 20 feet off the ground. What he's going to do. Like, you can't make that up. So you think the biggest misconception is that people think it's still fake?
Yep, 100%. Because I talk about wrestling all the time. It's the only thing that I really talk about outside of going to the gym and like talking with you guys. Even now we're talking wrestling, but I still got guys at work like, oh, it's fake, and they'll come up to me like with a folding chair and they'll just, lightly tap me, and I'll look at it like, no, you get hit me with that, you lay that in. They're like, really? I was like, yeah. Like, how hard do you want me to hit you? And I'll take it and I'll smash it on the floor. Like, that's how hard you got to hit me.
Wow.
They're like, there's no way. I was like, yeah, there's a way. Like, I have guys that come to some of the shows and they're like, you came to work the next day? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it sucks, but I'm here.
Yeah.
Have you always had an outgoing personality? To do what you guys do, I feel like you have to play to the crowd. You have to, you really have to up this thing.
I wouldn't say that it was outgoing before I started wrestling, because like back in the day, I wasn't all that confident. I wasn't like, I couldn't talk to girls. I was just that shy kid in class that would just, play on his phone or just start drawing or whatever, and didn't really talk to anybody really. But once I started wrestling, it became easier. Like, I definitely found my voice and my confidence doing that, which is something I think a lot of our guys look forward to and they find when they're working.
How big is it, an outside personality outside the square circle, like on social media? How big is that?
I mean,
And important.
It's super important to be able to tap into that aspect of your personality. Because I'm still, outside of wrestling, I'm still reserved, but I'm not as reserved. But like when I post on socials, like if you watch that promo that I cut on Pablo, a lot of people that saw that were like, hey, are you really mad at Pablo? Are you really going to miss? First off, yes, because I wish I was that good looking and I wish I had that athleticism.
Yo, ho, ho.
No. But on like a real level, like in real life, we're buddies. Like he was in my wedding party and he was one of my groomsmen, and he's a good guy. But it's taking that aspect that I don't like about him and being able to turn that up to 11. And that's what a lot of people can't do. And you'll see it, especially on the indies. I had one dude on one of my posts comment that I looked like, did he say Dimebag Dom? Basically a ripoff of Dominic Mysterio. Because I had the bandana on, my hair was all greased back, the mustache. And
Dimebag Dom is funny. Okay.
It is fun. That's very clever.
That popped me. Or no, Dusty Dom. That's what he called me.
Okay.
Dusty Dom.
I like Dimebag Dom.
Yeah, that is better.
And I went to his profile and I watched some of his promos, because he was another professional wrestler that I'd never seen or never. And I was like, are you reading this out of a book? Come on, man.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of things that some guys can't do. They don't understand, like, oh, I want to be Bray Wyatt. Yeah. Bray Wyatt's a great example. Bray Wyatt is one of the very few guys that could grab a mic and be like, I'm a cult leader, and you believe him.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you see all these other guys on the indies, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And they're nowhere. You could tell, like, they scripted it out. They wanted this, and they didn't get it because they're not Bray. The best thing you could do is be yourself. Be an aspect of yourself. And crank that shit up.
So what is this Martinez gimmick? How are we doing this?
So the Martinez gimmick is solely based on the fact that I am tired, and I am angry that I am tired all the time. Like the real aspect of it, right? And the reason I'm currently feuding with Pablo is I'm Manny's day one, right? I was there the first class and I've stuck there, and you've seen all these other guys that have come in with me either fall off or turn their back on Manny. And now I'm pissed off that he's always picked other people over me. So I'm going after the people that he's picked, Pablo being one of them. You ever see Manny's posts on like Snapchat or Facebook or whatever, and he's on the road, you see Pablo in the car with him. Like that used to be my spot. And then somebody else came in and like in Toy Story, when Woody gets replaced by Buzz, he gets mad and he almost tries to take him out, right?
Yeah.
That's my goal.
You can tell he's a new
That's
father.
dope. Yeah.
Pablo's gonna whoop that ass though, low key.
Man, you better.
Who are some prospects coming up in Al Snow Wrestling Academy and DCW?
Dalton's a good one. Dalton's a good one because he is so dedicated to what he does, and when he came to us, he wasn't the most athletic guy, and he was probably about 20 pounds heavier than when you guys saw him. And he puts in that work every day. He trains 3 days a week. But we got a whole gaggle of kids that are just fresh out of high school, if not 1 or 2 years removed. And they're like, oh, I played basketball. Oh, I was a wrestler. I was this. I was that. And you're just like, you could tell their athletic acumen watching them move in the ring and what they're willing and able to do. So there's a few of them, just to give them a shout out. Jace, Jack, John. Those are our 3 big ones. Raina.
He made all those names up.
Jace, Jack, John. It's all Jace.
I'm saying. You'll see one day. But legit, we have so many J's on our roster that it's like.
Sound like the insane guy. What's his name again?
Glade.
Such a great gimmick. I was telling the guys about him.
He's a good dude.
I'm going to get into some rapid fire.
Let's do it.
Okay, so some of these, you can give context to. Some of them just one-word answers, so pretty easy. You've already answered this, but I'm just going to ask it again. Heel or face?
Heel.
Group or artist that you would like. Let's say you're in WWE, right? Group or artist that you would like to create your theme music.
A Day to Remember.
Ooh, okay. Favorite all-time match?
Taker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania.
WWE, excuse me, AEW or New Japan?
WWE.
Your ideal, because I had to change this because I asked Dalton the same question, but ideal pre-match meal?
I don't eat day of show.
Oh, at all?
A dry scoop of pre-workout and a shot of water. That's my pre-match meal.
Okay. Jeez. I asked Dalton and he goes, whatever's in catering. So I was just like, okay, what would you like to eat?
Little Caesars.
And then the last one, Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers.
Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, and Bray Wyatt.
I love it.
That's great.
Flip to that question. Your War Games team.
Ooh.
Can
I just say the Wyatt Six? Like,
hold on. The original or what we have today?
I am so critical of the way they're. We can talk about it afterwards. I love all those wrestlers. I hate the way they have been. No, I hate the way they have been. These guys, people in the podcast are going to be like, Jesus Christ, we hear this all the time. I hate that they showed up. No, I love that they showed up, and they were killers. They were they killed people.
I swear Gunther was one of them.
And then they were baby faces, which is fine. But then it wasn't scary, and there was no real because I love the Wyatt family. That was and so when I heard that this Wyatt Six was coming, Dre will tell you, I talked about it every damn week, from the little QR codes to all the shit. I'm like, this is the best rollout ever.
Oh, 100%.
Like when Bray came back, right? Similar to that. But I'm so disgusted with how they have been used. And I know Bo was hurt, right? But still, it was like, God damn it. And so, but anyways, they're a great War Games team though. But, I say this every week. Triple H, call me. Let's figure something out. We got to do something different with these guys.
They got to figure out something.
They killed people when they first showed up.
They're not doing it no more.
They're not murderers.
No.
And they can still be dark and be baby faces, extremely dark, but it's just not. Anyways, sorry. I didn't mean
you're good. I personally loved that whole setup on SmackDown with the tag team division. I thought that was genius because it makes them look like a threat because you're not going just after Montez Ford and Dawkins. Everybody to the point where they're like, okay, now we have to get involved and stop these guys or else we're all screwed. So I thought that was genius. Granted, they're not hitting people over the head with the hammer and the old Bludgeon Brothers stuff, but I still think give it time. Just give it time.
All right.
We were talking about that this week. We just gotta
Gotta
sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, sit back and shut the fuck up.
Because as much as like fans were super critical, because I feel like we see certain things. I mean, look at Night of Champions and who won and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, are you entertained? Did you watch? Are you enjoying it? If so, sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this ride.
I mean, I'm gonna watch no matter. I watched in some down years. Where the shit was bad.
I really want them to do another crossover with AAA. That was probably one of my favorite PLEs
a lot of fun.
of the year so far, and I didn't know any of the AAA guys.
Yeah,
and got introduced to Vikingo.
He's the only one I knew. Yeah,
I didn't know him.
Yeah,
obviously we got introduced to Lizard Man. I mean Iguana Man. Yeah, Mr. Iguana. But yeah, sit back, relax, enjoy your snacks, and enjoy the ride. And enjoy the Great American Day. July 12th at Light Tree Studios, 740 West, 1700 South, the home of DCW. Doors open at 6:30. Bell is at 7:30. Tickets at eventbrite.com. Martinez, what is your socials? Where can we follow you and all that good stuff? Anything else you want to promo?
As of right now, Joe, just check us out July 12th over at Light Tree Studios, 740 West, 1700 South. You can follow me on socials, on Instagram at bonesaw_Will. For now, I'm going to try to get that changed. I'm going to try and get it fixed again. And hopefully it will probably under masochist_Martinez. So.
I was going to say just Martinez is taken.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I tried like
variations
3.
Of, yeah.
Martinez_DCW. That's not taken.
No, but I don't want to be limited to DCW. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Yeah, fuck Manny.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We showed him love, but you know what? He kissed my ass.
Make sure you go out again July 12th. Go support Pablo, the Pirate. Yo ho ho. We're going to get a big win. Martinez is going to be laid on his back.
Damn, you're a part of the camp. You're a part of the Pirate.
Man.
What do you call it?
I cannot wait till that episode drops and you can see what I did to that pretty boy punk.
Oh.
Like legit.
Oh, it's going to be bad for you, bro. Pablo's going to lay you out.
You need to show up to the show with an eye patch.
Oh, I'm slick ricking it.
Are you? Okay.
I'm slick ricking it, man. I'm going to rhinestone it up. What is your interest song?
Right now it is A Day to Remember, Make It Make Sense.
Okay.
Just off their new album, One Big Album, Volume 1.
Where can they follow us?
Figure the Number 4 podcast on Instagram. You can follow him at DreRawka on all socials. And I deleted my Instagram. I didn't delete it. It's still there. Just yesterday I got off. So you can message me, but I probably won't answer for, you need these times to step away, Dre.
Trumpito got it in his skin.
We got this podcast. You can manage it. I'm the talent. I show up, do my shit, and leave.
He shows up for catering. That's it.
Hey.
Yeah. Modelo. I brought those Modelos too.
You did about 4 weeks ago.
Sponsor these guys. Give them free Modelo, something.
No, Pit Viper, send us some shades. All right, Goots. What we doing? See that damn Pit Viper fucking van all over the city. I want to be like, yo, give me some shade.
Let's make it happen.
Come on, Skull Candy. Remember when Skull Candy used to be in the community?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Skull Candy don't be in the community no more. They just dropped some fire headphones too, man. They're like this velvet, purple rain type looking color.
Velvet.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
What is this, velvet? All right, that's been another episode of the Figure 4 podcast. We are out. Peace.